And we're live. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday afternoon if you're with us live. I am Susan Bachelder. I'm bringing to you story time. This is actually an extra episode. We usually have story time Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern. But today, our special guest, Apple Daniels, to fit her schedule, we decided to do an extra episode. So I'm super excited to be sharing this panel today with Apple. We've actually known each other for a while, for sure for 2 years, and been in the same circles, probably engaged a bit on each other's posts, but we've never had a specific conversation, and definitely this is the first time we met on video. So I am hearing her story from her for the first time as well, along with you. So it's going to be extra exciting. We, within this movement, it's inside of New Life movement, inside of the Commission, the Avengers, and Next Level Mastermind. So we have a large group of people, incredible, it's a vibrant, energetic community that is really, truly changing lives. We're changing our own lives, and we're changing the lives of others. So if you're a part of our team, thank you very much for coming out again. And if this is your first time on the Storytime Hangout and somebody cared about you enough to invite you, please do stay. We try to keep them about 30 minutes. We respect your time, and our time is valuable as well. And get back with the person that invited you and find out more about what we're doing here. We're connected with a company called Vacation, but the purpose of these hangouts is to share our stories, testimonials, and kind of the community and the culture that we're creating here, just so that you know a little bit more about us. People join people, and leaders are created as we lift each other up, and kind of the sub-focus of last night's Storytime Hangout and today will be confidence. I believe that a really powerful way of increasing our own confidence and increasing the confidence of others is by sharing our story, engaging in it, and lifting each other up and edifying each other when we have our wins, for sure. I guess I was just sharing with Apple just before we came live, one of the reasons that is close to my heart is 3 years ago when I came online, that was one of the things that I was very much lacking. Not something that typically lacked in me personally, but definitely I had gone through some life struggles and challenges that kind of had my confidence at an all-time low. And then when you start something new, there again, it kind of, it's your confidence. You have to redefine who you are and step into that changing or that new you that you have to become. I was a critical care registered nurse for 15 years and had gotten very confident in my role, and I quite loved it. I absolutely loved what I was doing. And as a single mom, I was confident. So I had confidence in a lot of areas in my life. And then I was in a car accident, and everything kind of just changed, and I had to figure out how to be in that new role. I couldn't be a nurse anymore. I couldn't be that active mom that ran and played with my kids. I actually was kind of stuck in bed for most of that time with debilitating pain. So that was a really huge part of redefining that confidence. This online industry and the people, surrounding myself with the great people that it is, and listening to other people's stories and how they pushed through challenges is what got me through that and elevated my confidence. I couldn't even get myself to do video for the longest time. So here I am doing videos pretty much every day and helping people step into their doing video, and it's all because of this kind of culture that we create with each other. So yeah, I think that's about all I want to share, because we are here to hear about Apple Daniels. Thank you, Apple.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan, for inviting me, for having me on. You know, it's always exciting when you get to connect with new people, right? We've known each other online. We've kind of been in the same circles. We've seen each other around. But just being able to connect. Am I frozen?
Oh,
Okay, good.
now you're not.
Okay, good. Just being able to connect with people, that have different stories and different experiences that brings them here, right? It's always interesting, and we were talking about this before we went live. When you talk to different leaders and you hear about their journey and their story, and even though the little inside pieces may be different, those things that you had to overcome and those things that you had to deal with to get to whatever level, you end up finding that they were the same. So very, very glad to be here, and definitely thank you to everyone who is hopping on, whether you're live or whether you're watching the replay. Thank you for taking your time out to watch this. So as Susan said, my name is Apple Daniels, and I got started online. Well, let me start with this. I'm not even going to say online. My journey into network marketing actually started back in 2006. I joined a really prominent old school network marketing company. A friend came in a choir rehearsal. We were at church, and she came in a choir rehearsal, and she was like, I just joined this business, and I want you guys to come check out the meeting, and it's this and it's that, and we have legal services, and whatever. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I went out with her to the meeting the next week, and the guy gets on the stage, and I mean, the deal. He gets on there. He's like, you get this many, and they get this many, and he starts telling their whole presentation, and I was sold. I was like, man, I'm gonna sign up for this much, and we're gonna get so many people in here, and I could talk to this person and this person and this person, because I'm green, right? Like I'm like, there's no way that I could sit here and see how wonderful this is and how much money this could bring in and how this could change my life, and no one else could do it. And I think I only signed up my mom. And then my mom came in and she signed up like a couple of cousins and, somebody else. But I mean, it went nowhere. Like I ended up having chargebacks galore, and it was just a mess. No success at all. I think I barely made like the first rank in the company. And so that was my start. But even though it didn't go the way that I planned, I went to their first national convention and everything, and saw all the top leaders on stage and the company founders. I mean, you know how we do in this industry. And I just was sold at that point. I was like, there's nothing else that I can think about doing. Like, I like this. I like this marketing thing. I just have to figure out how to make it work. But I was really shy, and I didn't have a lot of confidence. I didn't like really talking to people, which I didn't know until I got in this industry. I didn't really like talking to people. I didn't really like having to pass cards out in the grocery store. I thought it was strange stopping people. Tried to up other couple companies, some health and wellness stuff where I had business cards, and going in Walmart and sticking my flyer in like the bridal magazines so that they could lose weight for their weddings. I mean, just all of that was so weird to me, but still that thought of freedom and that thought of, what the industry provides, the lifestyle, the other stuff that it provides, I was hooked, and I was like, there has to be a way for this to work. And so took a break from it for a while, and I went back to work. I started in 2006. I was actually getting married that year, so that was part of my why. So I took the break. We got married or whatever, and then I got pregnant with twins, and so I said, okay, I took a break. I went back to school. I went back to work, and I'm working this job, and I'm like, God, okay, this can't be life. Like there has to be something more to it. And so probably about 2008, towards the end of 2008. A friend of mine from college starts posting about her business, but by this time we're all on Facebook. So she's like, I'm going to show you how you can do this on Facebook, and you can, whatever. And she has her little tagline that, her headline that she's using and whatnot. And so, of course, again, I'm like, okay, this is the one. That other thing didn't work, but this is the one because it's online, and I don't got to be at stores and this, and that. So it took me a while to sign up with her. I didn't have the money, even though I was working, he was working. It was kind of like I still didn't have the money. And I lagged. It was that point of where you're getting you're getting the message from somebody, but you're not really taking a hold of it. You're not really grabbing a hold of it and saying, okay, this is what I want to do. You're kind of sitting back like, well, let me see how this goes, and let me see if there's really some momentum in this. Actually, it's 2009, not 2008, excuse me. So that was August 2009. Fast forward to about February 2010. And I said, okay, I'm going to jump in. And so during that time, a couple of things had happened to me. My husband had lost his job that he had been at for a while. So my family's security was compromised. So in this time that I'm waiting to sign up for something, in this time that I could have been leveraging an opportunity, I have all this other stuff going on. My husband loses his job. Then we find out that one of our twins may have autism. So we're going through the process with that. I'm at this job. I'm applying like crazy. I mean, I'm applying for everything that they have because we're on a one-income household. You name it, I did it. Anything I had a degree for, anything that I thought was going to match my skill set, I applied for. I even applied for, I was working as a recruiting assistant, and I even applied for a recruiting job, which was in my department. It made perfect sense to me. You know, if I apply for this, there's no way they could turn me down. It will be my same manager. It'll be the same people I work with. How could I not get the position? Well, I didn't. They gave it to the mail and file clerk because they were targeting a particular demographic, and I did not fit that demographic, but she did. So they hired the mail and file clerk who had no experience whatsoever, and I think what that did, that did something in my heart, where it was different from you getting fired from a job, right? Because everybody, well, everybody may not get fired, but people get fired from jobs all the time, right? You're working, and they don't need you anymore. And yeah, that hurts. But there's something that happens to you when you're working a job in a department, you are in a position, and then you go to your supervisor who's telling you the whole time, you're great, you're awesome, we're going to promote you, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And then because you don't fit a certain look or you don't have a certain thing, now all of a sudden the excuse is you don't have any business acumen and you don't have the skill set to do this and that. And my thought was, yeah, but yesterday when you asked me to do such and such, or when, you know, this recruiter went on vacation for a week, I covered their desk, even as an assistant, or I made the cold calls. Excuse me, you know, I wrote out the cold calling script. I wrote out the this and the that, and structured this whole campaign. And so, long story short, that did something to me, and I thought I can never depend on a job again, right? And there's nothing wrong with working a job, but I can never depend on this being my sole thing, because I was completely heartbroken. I went into one of the empty offices, and I called my mom, and I remember I was in tears. I was like, Mom, I can't believe they did this. And, you know, I mean, it was hurtful, you know, to put in all of that work. And my mom was like, you know what? You don't let them see you cry. You wipe your tears, you pick it up, you go back in there, and you know what you got to do. So when I saw my friend online, I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I called her up, and it was around tax season. So it was like February, March 2010. And I called her. I said, as soon as my taxes come, I'm doing this. I told my husband, I don't care what you say, I'm doing this. And so I signed up into her business, and the same thing happened, right? Because I'm still shy. I still don't like talking to people, even on Facebook. Like, I'm still afraid to do certain things. So the same thing happened. I only reached like one rank in the company, and then it was all bad. In between that time, though, I got introduced to the concept of internet marketing, right? And all of these other things that come with it, the blogging and the this and the that. And so I kind of continued on this up and down path, right? It wasn't an easy thing because there were a lot of different things that I had to overcome before I was actually able to step into who I was supposed to be. I mean, even now, there are still things that I have to overcome to get from where I am now, although I've made a lot of progress and had a lot of what I would consider success for myself to get to the next level. I still have a lot of growing to do. And so went through the ups and downs with that, went through a lot of changes, went through a lot of different things, and finally jumped into a company that seemed to match everything that I was doing, everything that I loved about internet marketing, everything I loved about the automation, everything I loved about, you know, being able to express myself in a way that was comfortable for me. They seem to have had. So I jump in, everything is great, everything is perfect. And then I would say about 2 months in, I get this letter from my landlord because we were still struggling. My husband was still trying to get settled in his career, relaunching his career. I had decided not to go back to work after my third son. And so we're like kind of on one income, kind of not, because I'm working online, but I'm not necessarily making everything. And so get into this company, everything goes well. I start making a little bit of money. And then my landlord sends me this letter, and she's basically like, I'm tired of you guys being late on your rent. You guys got to get it together. Bottom line is I can't do this anymore. Y'all got to find somewhere else to go. You can't stay here. I feel really bad. I really like you guys. I like your kids, but y'all got to go. And I'm like, dang, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Because I don't really have any options for the job at this point. Like, that's not what I want to do. And he's still trying to figure out what he's going to do. And I know this can work for me, but I have to figure out how to make it work. And so what happens when you're in a situation like that, right? When you are at the point of when your back is against the wall, right? For lack of a better term, when your back is against the wall and you're saying to yourself, what am I going to do with my life? You don't sulk. And I think that was another breaking point for me where I said, okay, I don't really have the option of a job. I don't have the option of dealing with a lot of the things that come with that. I have to get to work and I have to do it quickly. So I called my mentor and she said, are you doing videos? And I was like, well, yeah, kind of, sort of. Not really. Me and videos kind of have this thing because, I kind of had an esteem issue with gaining weight from having kids and then losing weight and then, all that stuff. And she says, you got to get it together. You got to get it together. You got to do whatever it takes, whatever it is, the video, the blogging, the this, the that, the Facebook marketing. Like, you're not where you want to be because you're not putting in the work. Like, you got to switch your mind over. There's a shift that has to take place inside of you where you say, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I don't care if my hair is curly or straight. I don't care if my makeup is on or off. I don't care, what's going on today, if the kids are running around. I have videos where I'm in the process of a video and my kids start screaming in the background and I'm like, okay, hold on. And I pause the video and I put like the little ticker and like a little title page over it that says, mom session happening, please hold. And of course I had to edit it so that they're not holding the whole time. But the point is, you have to do whatever it takes. And I think for me and my story and how I went from, pretty much the point of where my landlord said, and we're still in the same house. This is still the same house, guys, just so you know. But, going from the point of, okay, look, we're about to get put out to, let me figure out how to make this work. It's nothing tactical necessarily. I mean, there is some strategy involved in it. There are some things that you have to do. If you were on the webinar yesterday, for those of you that are on the team, you were given some awesome strategies. So there are some things that definitely you need to do. But what it really comes down to is that shift in your mind. Right? And as you start doing those things, like you make one video and maybe you don't like it, but you put it out there anyway, and you find that it resonates with somebody, and if you don't know what to say, get on there and talk about where you are right now. Look, I'm in this business. You don't got to go all into the details and tell everything, right? Not all of the bad, but I'm here. I'm in this business and I'm trying to grow it. And this is my heart. And this is why I joined. And this is what I want to do. And this is how I want to help you. And this is how I believe I can help you. And when you do that, you'll be surprised at the amount of people who just start resonating with you and your story, and they start believing in you, and then they start rooting for you, right? And then you get that first sign up and you say, oh my God, so-and-so joined the team. Congratulations, we on a mission, right? And then somebody else says, well, what's this mission that you're on? And that sparks up a conversation. But if you don't shift that in your mind and you don't get to the point where you say, I'm just going to put myself out there. My back is against the wall and I can either continue, like, just think about it, and I hate bringing up like violence, but just think about, like, if you are in, some type of situation and somebody pushes you and and your back is against the wall and you hit the wall, what are you going to do? Are you just going to be like, oh, no, no, my back is against the wall, I'm sorry? Or are you going to say, no, get off of me? You know what I mean? Get off of me, problem. Get off of me, whatever this is. Get off of me, bills. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do this. Get off of me, eviction notice. I'm not going to do this anymore. You're going to push back. If that was your kids, you're going to fight back for that. And so that's how you have to think of this business, whatever it is, whatever that thing is that's stopping you from putting yourself out there, that thing that's stopping you from making those videos or that blog post or that Facebook post or that Instagram post or whatever that thing is that you need to do to succeed in your business. You got to push that thing off of you. You got to push back, and you got to defend yourself and your right to be a successful business owner. So I know we're like 10 minutes till, like, I could go on and on about this, but look, guys, what it comes down to and how I did it, and I know it's hard to give everything just in a short 30-minute time span, but it comes down to that shift in your mind. Like, no matter what anybody tells you, you have to decide that this is what you want, and that you're not going to do it. You're either going to go back or you're not. You know what I mean? You're either going to succeed or you're going to fail. But no matter which side you choose, you got to decide something, right? Like, that's just what it is. I'm either going to post on Facebook. I'm not. Okay, you don't do Facebook marketing. Fine. I'm either going to post on Instagram or I'm not. I'm either going to shoot this video or I'm not. But no matter what it is, it's still a decision that you make in your mind, and it's a switch that goes off, and you say, you know what, I got it. Light bulb, I'm good. You know what I mean? And you just go for it, and then you just build on each one. You build on each success. You get that one team member, you build on that next team member, you build on that third team member. We're in vacation, boom, you're executive. You know what I'm saying? And then you build on that next person and that next person, boom, you're regional. You know what I mean? And then you go up and up and up all the levels. And so you just keep building on that everything. And every time something happens, man, like, I'm kind of a smart aleck sometimes. So, like, I might hit a rank and I'll just real casually just, like, my sponsor might, screenshot a picture of me and say whatever. I'll take his screenshot and put it on my wall and go, oh, so this happened, and then shoot my link. You know what I mean? It's not even really a sales pitch. It's like, oh, yeah, this happened. You know what I mean? But that's my personality. That's my way. I've kind of found that thing that works for me. You got to find that thing that works for you, but ultimately you got to make the decision in your mind that this is what you want to do. And definitely, I know we talk about this a lot, but write down your goals. Like, I'm going to be this rank by this day. I'm going to have this income by this day. That stuff never fails. Never, 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 never fails. And put it on your computer. I have notes, and I keep them right here. So every time I open my laptop, I'm looking, and I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. So anyways, guys, that's my story. We got about 6 minutes to go. So
thank you so much. What a powerful, powerful story.
thank you.
Definitely. I appreciate you sharing it, and your energy as I'm listening to you share it. Like, I'm sure those of you watching in the audience, I'm just like getting all geared up. I'm excited hearing you. And I had just mentioned the vibrant energy in our community. So, and Apple, you demonstrated that very, very clearly. Oh, okay, so checkpoint. I got all excited. I forget exactly what I was going to say. But thank you very much for sharing that. I actually am looking forward to, now that we've connected and met, I'm looking forward to hearing more of your story. And I want to highlight something. Once you made that decision, Apple, and you created your momentum, that's essentially what you did, right? Because you were going up and down and doing a bit and then not. But once you made that decision and then found and created your success, do you take, and of course I know the answer, but I just want to put it out there, do you take action every day?
Oh, absolutely. You can't, even if you decide to take a break, right? The great thing about internet marketing is that we have all of these things. You have all these tools where you can schedule yourself out. So if I know that I have something going on with my kids, I may schedule something for that day. But every day there should be something on some social platform, on somewhere where you are making a connection with other people out there, whether it is an Instagram post, whether it's a Facebook post, whether it's a video or an email that goes out or a scheduled blog. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's scheduled or unscheduled. Every day you're taking action on something. You're making some type of progress. And it reminds me of that saying, like, you know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? Even if you think, because a lot of times we'll say, well, you know, this is a huge project and I can't get this done all in one day, and then we just don't do it at all, versus, well, let me do a little bit today and let me do a little bit here. So let me put up a post today and ride that. Okay, let me put up the post next day. Maybe you're not at the point where you feel like you can constantly just be all day go, 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 but every day you should be taking action on something, anything that's going to progress you towards your goals.
Thank you. Everyone that I see that's still on the fence of taking massive action or struggling and not sure why they're not succeeding, that's usually one of the missing pieces. And the other one is what we talked about with confidence, just the confidence to make that decision to take action. And then the other thing is just simply not taking daily action and just being committed, whether it's 1 hour, 5 hours, or 18 hours that you put in. You have to take action every day. Of course, it's okay to schedule time off. I mean, that's what we're all working towards, is freedom. But then you have to work extra hard to be able to allow yourself that convenience of scheduling that time off. Exactly. One of the things that I did, and this is kind of a bit of an example, but last year, at kind of the end of 2013 and beginning of 2014, I decided I needed some extra fire. I needed to push harder in my business, and I needed to set my goals higher. I wasn't shooting high enough before, and I had some specific things I wanted to accomplish. My son, well, he's 18 now, but he likes to drift with his driving. He's passionate about cars, and he needed a faster car. He needed a different car. So I wanted to get him into that to keep his focus. I homeschool him. So I wanted to do that for him. And I also wanted stem cell implants for myself so that I could get out of always having to build my business in bed, so I could decrease my pain and get well and do that. So I pushed really hard. My whole theme last year was massive action. I rarely took a day off, and I pushed really hard. My reward was I wrote a check for not one, but 2 cars for my son. In September, I took a week off, and it was partly around work. I was speaking at an event, took a week off and bathed in the sun, and spent some time masterminding with some colleagues in Orlando, so I was allowed that, because I took massive action. And then I did go for my stem cell implant and took 2 weeks off to just completely recover at the end of November. So if you push yourself hard enough and take action every day, you can reach those goals. Just like Apple, you're in that same house, and that's exciting, and you've reached many new levels. And I think that this momentum that we're all creating in 2015 will take you to even more levels.
I believe that. I want to piggyback something, because you talked about rewards, and I think we don't do that enough. You know, sometimes it's not about the accolades that you get from other people, but the rewards that you give yourself for meeting the goals. And I think that's important, that you feel proud of yourself and your accomplishment, right? That first team member, and I know I keep harping on that, but I know that there are a lot of people who haven't yet recruited their first team member, and so to me that's very important. You know what I mean? Take yourself out. It doesn't matter what it is. Take yourself out for something. Like, I'm a foodie, and so I always tell myself, and then I'm also like on this whole weight loss thing, and I'm a Zumba instructor, so I try not to overdo it, but I always tell myself, okay, if you do this and that in your business, you can go eat out. Like, lately my thing has been chow fun. So if you do this, you can go have chow fun, or you can go have sushi, or you can have Wingstop if you do X. And it probably seems crazy, but they're small rewards. You know what I mean? It's not the big ones that count. Obviously, I have my big rewards. I have my, I want to travel here. I want to do this. I want to do that. I have those big things. I'm going to buy this as a reward for doing X, Y, Z. I have those things. But I also have those little things during my week that you can't do X, Y, Z until you this or that. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't happen, then guess what? I don't do X, Y, Z. Like, I don't reward myself anyway. I literally say, okay, you know what you got to do if you want that. You know what I mean? So those little rewards that you give yourself, a lot of times to me are much more impactful than anything you'll receive from other people, because it's building that self-confidence and you're knowing within yourself that you reached a goal.
That's awesome. Thank you for bringing that up. That is a great thing to share. And yeah, I wouldn't have even thought of sharing that right here, but it's very fitting. Very fitting. I do that for myself as well. And I think it's really important. Reward each other and reward ourselves.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Well, do you have anything else to say? I've completely enjoyed this 30 minutes.
I know I have too. I keep looking at the time like I don't want it to end, but no, you guys, I mean, I can talk for days, and I've told Susan and Todd and whoever else that I'll be happy to, you know, step out and talk. And I love what I do. I love this industry. I love helping people. So I'm just grateful to be here.
That's awesome. Well, will you join us on Storytime again then also?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much. And to the audience, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching the recording, please do get back with who invited you and find out more about why we're doing so well, why we have such a culture in vacation, and how to go ahead and get started. And for the team members that are watching, please share with us your feedback. Let us know what you liked about this story time. Let us know what you've enjoyed about the other story times, and let us know when you're ready to come and share your story on Storytime. And we'll see you in the next one.
Okay.